He said I was special. It was a soft whisper I wasn't meant to hear, said by someone I never expected to look at me that way, my best friend's son. Please like, comment, and support to Swept in Secrets, the place of your best choices. My name is Serena Hale, and at 36, I never thought I'd be pulled into a moment that would change everything between friendship, motherhood, and desire. I was a single woman, content with my books, my baking, and my quiet suburban home. And then, one summer evening, my world shifted. So quietly, so unexpectedly, when Asher Montgomery came back from college. Asher was 20, just a boy when I met him for the first time years earlier. He was shy, sweet, and observant, always lingering at the edge of grown-up conversations. But now, seeing him again after a year away, I realized he was no boy anymore. He'd grown taller, sharper, confident, and troubled. And despite myself, I noticed. It started when my best friend, his mom, Lydia Montgomery, brought him over for a summer family barbecue. Asher was different this time. He hugged me warmly, lingering just a second too long, and called me Miss Serena, like he always used to, except this time his voice was deeper, his eyes older. You look really good, he said almost shyly. I brushed it off with a smile. Thanks, Asher. College seems to have treated you well, too. We wouldn't see each other again until a week later, when Lydia asked if Asher could stay at my place for a few nights while her house was being painted. I said yes, without thinking much of it. I'd always thought of Asher like family. But things changed on the first night he arrived. The first 2 days were innocent. We watched movies. I cooked. He offered to help wash dishes and carried groceries in without me asking. He was kind, respectful, and surprisingly mature for his age. And yet, every so often, I'd catch him looking at me differently like I was someone new. It made me nervous. On the third night, something happened that pulled the ground out from under my feet. I couldn't sleep. One of those restless nights where old memories keep replaying in your head. Around midnight, I got up for some water. I didn't hear anything at first, but when I walked back toward my room, I froze. There he was, standing in my doorway, Asher, barefoot, shirtless, his eyes in shadows unreadable. Serena, he said softly, can I talk to you? I was stunned. My heart punched wildly against my ribs. Is everything okay? I whispered, pulling my robe tighter around me. He nodded. Yeah, I just couldn't sleep. I keep thinking about something, and I didn't know where else to go. I stepped aside and let him in, trying to act calm even as I felt this new energy between us. Uncertain, dangerous, magnetic. Asher walked in slow, stopping just a foot away from me, and for a moment we stood there in silence, the room lit only by the soft hallway light. His chest was bare, lean but strong, like he'd spent the past months working out. His voice was low when he finally spoke. You're special to me, he murmured. My breath caught. What do you mean? I asked, even though I already knew. He stepped closer. I mean, I've always noticed things about you. The way you smile, the way you make other people feel calm. You make me feel safe. You make me feel like I can be myself. I was trembling. This was forbidden ground. He was almost half my age, my best friend's son. But in that moment, none of that stopped the pulse hammering through my veins. Asher! I tried to speak, but the words tangled. His fingers brushed the side of my hand. You're special, Serena, he whispered again, slower this time. More than you even realize. I closed my eyes. I knew I had to say it. I had to draw the line. But then he stepped back, not forward. If I crossed a line, I'm sorry, he said sincerely. I I didn't want to keep this inside anymore. He turned, like he was going to leave, like he'd just poured his heart out and expected nothing in return. And that's when I broke. "Wait," said. He stopped, turned back. I went to him, one step at a time, until I could feel the warmth of his body, until our breaths mingled. We didn't touch. Not yet. That single, suspended moment felt heavier than gravity. "You didn't cross the line," I whispered. He looked down at me like he was holding his breath. "I'm just scared of what it means if I admit how I feel," I confessed. His eyes softened, like he understood everything without me saying more. Then he leaned in, slowly, like he was giving me every chance to pull away. And when our lips finally met, it wasn't rushed or hungry. It was gentle, careful, full of years of unspoken words. In that moment, I stopped thinking. I just felt. His hand moved to my waist, grounding me. Mine went up instinctively to his shoulder. The kiss deepened, grew more urgent, and the room around us disappeared. There was no clock, no rules, no right or wrong. Just two people drawn together by something we couldn't ignore anymore. But I pulled back first. I had to. "We can't," I murmured, shaking my head, even as my body begged me to continue. He didn't push, didn't argue, just nodded, breathing hard, looking at me with eyes full of want and understanding. "I respect you," he said, "so much more than you know, and I'll wait if waiting makes it right." And then he left. That night I didn't sleep. Every moment since then, I've thought about that kiss, about the way he looked at me, like I was someone worth choosing, someone worth waiting for. And now I'm sitting in my room, waiting too, waiting for him to wake up. Because today I have a choice to make, a hard one, about love, about friendship, about crossing lines or building new ones. I never thought something like this would happen to me, but life has a way of surprising you, especially when you've stopped expecting it. And I can't stop replaying what he said before he walked away. "You're special." Maybe I am. And maybe, just maybe, this is the start of something I never saw coming.